But then I heard some people take it to the next level. Let's say they can't afford to travel. Guess what they do? They stay at home, like literally lock themselves in the house and pretend as if they traveled. Why is hair always lopsided? Like, or is it just mine? My hair feels lopsided. I don't know why. Hey guys, welcome back to another awesome, exciting, life-changing, life-altering installment of Tea Time with Ayek. We don't always drink tea, but honey, we spill the tea. And today, I'm causing some trouble. Some serious trouble. Okay. I'm going to be talking about Lagos society people. Okay, so if you're just joining us for the first time, welcome. If you're joining us for the second or thousandth time, welcome as well. My name is Ayek Intekam. I'm a media professional. I work on the radio. I do digital media for brands, SMEs, and I like to talk a lot on this channel about my move to Nigeria. 4 years ago, I moved to Lagos, Nigeria. Well, I moved to Abuja first, then I moved to Lagos. But I moved to Nigeria 4 years ago, and I've been sharing my experiences on what it's been like. I also talk a lot about plus size life, what life is like as a plus size woman. I talk about fashion, a plus size Black woman. Let's be clear, because it's a little different. So if that's something you're interested in, come on, join the party. Okay guys, so the reality of the situation is that there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. Also, I wanted to just do something fun, do something to lift your spirits a little bit, because I know we're having a challenging time, and just kind of gist. As a disclaimer, guys, this is just bants, as the British say. These things actually happen. They're like real life events, but I'm not here to like condemn society people or whatever the case may be. I'm just saying what I've seen and what I've been through, you know what I'm saying? Maybe not what I've been through, what I've seen and what I've heard from these particular people. So let's get right into it. First and foremost, guys, we have to define what a society person is. You're either a society person by merit or by your mind, because you know people, because you get invited to a lot of events, or because you have a certain amount of followers on social media. So there's not like one particular definition of a society person, but those things where like you can't really define it, but when you see it, you know it, that kind of thing. Let me give you guys a little bit of background. So before I moved to Lagos, I kind of had an idea. I'm like, okay, this person, they're kind of a big deal. They're popping, they're doing this, they're doing that. They would be what would be considered a society person. And I was like, okay, I want to connect with that person. I want to connect with this person and that person. Ultimately, I said, I'm not going to move to Nigeria and just blend in. I'm going to be with, the it crowd. I'm going to be the it girl myself. Now, this is the thing. This is a mistake a lot of us make when we decide we want to move to Nigeria, especially when we decide we want to move to a place like Lagos. That's ultimately the goal of a lot of people. Even, how do I say this nicely? Certain people who, even when they're visiting Nigeria for December, for Christmas or for the summer, they connect with certain people who they see as society people. For some reason, I don't understand the mentality. And I'm not saying all people who move back to Nigeria or move to Nigeria are like this, but like, I've just noticed that trend. You want to be with the in crowd. You want to be seen and heard. I don't know if it's because... Actually, I don't know, but I've noticed the trend, and I was guilty of the trend before I moved to Nigeria, and a little bit when I moved. The mentality of a lot of people who we would consider society people are, a lot of times is what they can gain from knowing you or being associated with you. There's a lot of classism in it as well, like, this person hasn't been out of the country. This person has only been to Ghana or an African country. This person only travels once a year. What car are you driving? What area you live in, especially in a place like Lagos, what area you live in. If you're a business owner, do you have staff? Or are you running the business yourself? What you wear. So, the normal clicky or, high and mighty, I don't know what the word would be for that, but those normal things. I think one distinction about society people in a place like Lagos is that if you can't do anything for them, or they feel like, who does this person know? They're gonna treat you however they want to treat you. So like, a lot of times people who work for them or work with them, they're like, they don't feel the need to treat them properly, even though the people that they treat properly, it's fake, like they're just pretending. But they have a big thing about like, this person doesn't know anyone, so I'm just gonna do whatever I want. And then on the other end, they're like, this person knows so many people, let me get closer. Ways to determine whether someone is one of those society people is, within the first 5 minutes, how many names do they drop? You're going to hear in a conversation with these kinds of people, that's my eggnon, that's my friend, that's my sister, we just hung out together, we just did this, we just did that. They're gonna drop names to let you know that they're not your mate. They're not on your level. They know people who you don't know. People take summer very seriously. Now, mind you, we don't even have summer in Nigeria, but because, these people, they go for summer in the UK or summer in the US and things like that, people literally will say, we're traveling for the summer, even though technically it's like summer a lot in Nigeria. And with the summer trips, people borrow money, like they get loans to travel just to say that they traveled for the summer. And I didn't know that was a thing until one time I was in church and my pastor was like, it still blows he said it still blows his mind that people are getting loans to travel for the summer just to say they traveled. And I was like, okay, that's a little much. I know you want to tell your friends that you traveled, but then I heard some people take it to the next level. Let's say they can't afford to travel. Guess what they do? They stay at home, like literally lock themselves in the house and pretend as if they traveled. Like, switch SIMs, like, switch phone SIMs, all kinds of stuff. And then at the end of summer, they come out and they're like, oh yeah, I traveled, blah, 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 blah. Another thing about society people is their circle. These kinds of people pick their close friends because most of them are living a similar type of lifestyle. A lot of it is fake. A lot of them are fake to each other, but it's like guilty by association. So they just associate with themselves because they're like, I don't have to explain too much. I just have to lie about the Ferrari that my husband just bought, or lie about the fact that my wife comes home every night even though she probably doesn't, or lie about my kid going to a million naira school even though they're not going to that school. They just keep it within themselves because they all kind of do the same thing. And then also, again, it's about who they're being seen with. Society people like to be seen with their type of people. I have been in a situation, I was at a networking event and I was talking to a lady and I thought the conversation was good, but then after a certain point I noticed that she kept like looking over my shoulder, and not like she was looking at anyone particular, she was just looking for someone else to come, right? Someone else who, I guess has status. And maybe like 5 minutes into the conversation, she's like, yeah, okay, it was nice talking to you. I don't even think we exchanged cards. She just said, it was nice talking to you. Babe, are you back? I said, another thing with so-called society people, I think a lot of them carry it on their heads in the sense of like, they know this person, they know that person, and so sometimes they make threats. Like, I remember I was working with this lady, and it didn't work out. Like, it wasn't, like, we didn't go too far in it. And then she told someone that I worked with that, basically like defaming my character. And then one of my colleagues said to me, babe, she knows a lot of people, so you have to be careful, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, of course she knows that she knows a lot of people, so that's why she wants to like, tarnish my name or whatever the case may be. Society people think that they're gods. Like, I know this person, I will ruin you in this town, I will finish you in this town. And it's this thing of like, they all have this fear of each other. Like, I don't want to overstep my boundary. I don't want to have beef with this person because I know they'll finish me. Even though in reality, finish who? who y'all gonna finish? I mean, that sounds, you know, so big and bold, but it's the truth. They like all fear each other, and then they expect everyone else to fear them as well, because I guess they know somebody secretly that the other person doesn't know. Child, I have no idea. That society thing, they carry it on their head like it's the end all be all. Now, another thing about society people is the packaging. Hey! Imagine buying Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Prada, everything on credit. So basically, because maybe the person knows the owner of the store or has a big name in society, they buy things on credit. So you find a lot of people in thousands of dollars and pounds. I'm not talking about Naira, thousands of dollars and pounds in debt. They owe fashion houses, they owe businesses, they owe clients, they owe people a lot of money. They're constantly in debt because they're trying to push this lifestyle, and it's like there's no limit. I don't know if you guys have seen this movie. If you haven't, it's called Bling Oceans. If you watch that movie, that's literally the perfect depiction of what goes on in the lives of a lot of society people. Debt is the norm, but the presentation that they're not in debt. I don't know if that makes sense. So a lot of them are in debt, but they present themselves as if they're not, but like they're deep in debt. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that put some things into perspective. I think one thing I realized about the whole society thing is this. I found myself envying them, or envying those kinds of people, wanting to be a part of their clique, blah, blah, blah. But then I realized a lot of them are going through a lot of things that they're not going to be able to share because of the kind of society we have in Nigeria. We're extremely critical. We're extremely like, I better pass my neighbor, which basically means like I'm better off than they are. Their stuff is really messed up, right? And we're extremely judgmental. So those people don't really have the freedom necessarily to not fit the mold. And I didn't see that when I was like so obsessed with wanting to be a part of their crew and wanting to be, you know, friends with them and all of those things. But lesson learned. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. It's gonna be a fashion video, so get ready. Get ready. Get ready. 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 Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you next time.